Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official college football week number 12 picks and predictions. We've got 2 weeks of the regular season left. There is unfortunately only 13 weeks of the college football regular season, and we begin with Big Noon, and boy, what a compelling matchup this is. It's only a 21-point spread. You know, this spread opened minus 19 for Michigan. It immediately got bet up, and I don't think Michigan's sitting at number 3 right now. I'm guessing they will stay there come the Tuesday college football playoff rankings release. I don't think they're going to lose a game on the road at Maryland, especially the fight that they showed without Jim Harbaugh. They're galvanizing around their team right now. And I think they win this game easily, 38-14, and possibly cover. Well, I guess I do have them covering the 21-point spread there. Maryland, the wheels have really fallen off here in the second half of the year. They did beat Nebraska. It was a very ugly game from what I heard, though, 13-10 in that one. Moving on to another noon game. Yes, here we go. It is the SEC Cupcakes, Alabama, sitting at number 8 right now, hosting Chattanooga. There is no line for this. If there is going to be a line, it will be released on Saturday morning. So the fact that this game's on at noon, you're not going to have a long time to bet. I'm guessing Alabama's going to be sitting maybe minus 50, minus 49. I'm going to say 56-3. There's really no point in predicting these games because Alabama very likely will not be playing their starters into the third quarter. It's going to be a complete blowout, although we have seen a few times where Alabama kind of struggles early on in these games and everyone laughs at it, but yeah, probably not going to be close. We've got another bad matchup here. It is UL Monroe traveling to Ole Miss. You know, Ole Miss coming off that demoralizing loss, really disappointing effort. It looked like they were going to be in that game early. I believe it was 14-14, and they end up losing 52-17. They're going to crush UL Monroe. I do think they cover the 36-point spread, but it is a risky play, 59-13, higher scoring game there. We saw a bunch of higher scoring games last week, so I'm going to try and make a few more games really high scoring. This is a brutal game, man. Penn State sitting minus 19.5. I highly suspect Beaver Stadium will not be anywhere close to sold out for this game. You know, they'll get a lot of people there like they always do, but Penn State fans are really down on their team right now. They fire their offensive coordinator. Their ceiling seems to be 10-2, and now they're facing a Rutgers team who's just horrible on offense coming off a shutout loss to Iowa. I like Penn State in this game. I love the under, although let's be honest, the over-under for this one's probably going to be in the low 40s anyways. I do wonder about the weather. We are supposed to get cold front moving in on Saturday. We might get some snow games. I would love to see a snow game for this one. Please, Lord Jesus, please, can we get a snow game for this one? Because otherwise, this is a boring slot fest that no one wants to watch. Moving on, we've got another noon game. How about this one? Louisville traveling to Miami. Could this be the upset spot for Louisville? We're all waiting to see, are they going to lose one of these games? I had Miami keeping it close with FSU last week. And guys, I know what you're going to say. You know, oh, you like Tyler Van Dyke. Yeah, guys, if Tyler Van Dyke would have started last week, Miami would have won that game outright. Their backup was 6 of 20 for 91 yards at one point. I know he finished with 2 touchdowns, but guys, let's get Tyler Van Dyke back into the starting lineup. I do like Miami to win this game in an upset. It just seems too obvious. Louisville is showing way too many red flags. I mean, their main color is red, so it does suit them. But we saw them last week against Virginia really struggle, and I know Virginia is a competitive team, but still, it's such a red flag. I will take Miami after playing a solid game last week against FSU on the road, only losing 27-20. I think they win this game outright. It really is a pick-em. I mean, even the analytics have Miami as the favorite, so really it could go either way. Louisville sitting -2 in terms of the line. I'm not too sure about this game. It's Oklahoma traveling to BYU. We're calling it a noon game. This game is taking place in Utah, folks. What is this, a 10 a.m. start? Just very strange here. But yeah, this is a conference game. Oh yeah, this is a real good conference game here. Come on. It's just crazy with BYU joining the conference. But yeah, Oklahoma's sitting -24. BYU, it's a mess right now. They've got their third string quarterback in last week. They got destroyed I do have Oklahoma winning this game easily. They really impressed me last week. They stabilized in an easy blowout victory against West Virginia. Now they're going on the road in a weird spot. I like the under because it's a 10 a.m. start. 31-10 there. Another noon game. It is Tulane traveling to FAU. So Tulane at this point, it is a very big trend. They cannot cover a spread. They're 0-4 in their last 4, and none of them have been close. And they're sitting -9.5 right now. I don't know if that line is right. I thought I read it was -7. But I do have FAU winning this game in an upset. Tulane at some point is going to get clipped in one of these games. They've been too close. They have not been playing well. At some point, they will lose. I've got FAU winning that game outright. FAU is not very good, but they're a serviceable team who can cause an upset against a team that's not playing very well, and Tulane is not playing very well. And for FAU, this will be, obviously, their Super Bowl. We move on to the 3:30 window. It's the ranked v. ranked. Georgia traveling to Tennessee. Tennessee very likely falling outside of the top 18, maybe even the top 20 after their horrible loss to Missouri. That's really taken the sting out of this one. You do have Georgia sitting -10 in this matchup, and I do like Georgia to win a very, very close game. Now, I know people are going to say, well, Georgia, they had a blowout victory last week. How is this game going to be close? I just think there's something about Tennessee at home, and it feels like everyone wants us to take Georgia in a blowout after scoring 52 points last week. I think they come back down to earth a little bit. They win this game, but it is a fun, close one, and the narrative coming out of it is that Tennessee's a solid team, and they fought, but they end up losing to Georgia, who very likely could be the number 1 team in college football, depending on what the playoff committee decides to do. Another 3:30 game. Well, actually, you know what, guys? This is a very strange situation that's going on with this game and another Pac-12 game. Right now, the time is to be determined. I'm guessing it's going to be announced today, but I'm just saying it's going to be at 3:30. I don't really know when. This could be at 10:30. It just depends. But either way, this game should not be close. It is Oregon traveling to Arizona State. Arizona State, I'm shocked at what they did against UCLA. UCLA, horrible offensive performance. But yeah, we know Arizona State's not a good team. And this Oregon is playing for Bo Nix's Heisman. They know how important that juice is to get a Heisman winner this day and age with the transfer portal, with recruiting. They're going to want to put up big stats, and they're going to run up the score on Arizona State. They might win this game 51-10 in all honesty. There, another 3:30 game. It is Notre Dame sitting -24.5, coming off their late season bye, hosting Wake Forest. Notre Dame going to be kind of irrelevant here in these final few weeks, not facing good teams. I think they've got Stanford after this, but they are ranked number 20th right now. And if you are Ohio State, obviously you're rooting for Notre Dame to hold serve and win these games. I've got them winning. This is Sam Hartman, the little reunion, 45-10 in a blowout fashion. They're not going to blow their season with a loss like that. Maybe that ends up being a snow game. We will see. Next, we do have Iowa hosting Illinois. Very interesting story with Illinois. Their backup quarterback throws for 500 yards, and Iowa right now sitting -3.5. I am going with the upset. I'm going with Illinois to win this game outright, and it's a miracle. We finally get an over to hit on the Iowa game. Right now, the over-under sitting at 30.5. I think the law of averages, it's finally going to happen. Illinois, the backup quarterback, 500 passing yards, a shocking upset for the Illini and a program changer there. Another 3:30 game. It is North Carolina on the road at Clemson. So North Carolina coming into this game ranked 7.5-point underdogs. I think that's a little aggressive. I mean, I don't like North Carolina. I've never liked them this year, but 7.5 is a little much. I think it's going to be a very fun, maybe overtime, high-scoring game that Clemson wins. But there has to be some solid value here on North Carolina plus the 7.5. I mean, this should be a good game. Clemson, don't get me wrong, they've had games where they've shown impressive offensive upside and just team talent is very impressive. But I think it's going to be a close one. We do have a 4 o'clock game. It is Ohio State sitting -28, hosting Minnesota. The Buckeyes getting on track last week. Kyle McCord, the best game he's played this year. It was complete. They didn't try in the second half. They easily beat Michigan State. And now they're facing a Minnesota team. Not good on defense, but Minnesota's quarterback, Callie McManus, has been playing better. I think they're going to score a bit. I think this game goes over easily, 45-17. Ohio State wins. Will they cover the 28? Not sure on that, but I do love the over in this game right now. The Buckeyes win there. Another 4 o'clock game. It is Oklahoma State sitting -7 on the road at Houston. I picked against Oklahoma State last week. They end up losing to UCF. I mean, I thought it was going to be a close game. They got trounced by UCF. When I saw UCF come out in those uniforms, I knew that Oklahoma State was done. There was just no way. And now they're facing a sneaky Houston team. I like Houston to pull off another upset. Oklahoma State, their season is in a tailspin right now. They lost to South Alabama like week 1 or week 2. And this is really the team that they are. Ollie Gordon's a good player, but if you shut them down, they really struggle. I think Houston wins, another surprising one there. We've got a random 6:30 game. It is Florida State right now sitting at number 4. They might fall back to number 5. We will see. They're taking on North Alabama, an FCS school. And in this one, I do have it at 66-10. Florida State wins. Jordan Travis, kind of an outside shot at winning the Heisman. They're going to try and get him 5 touchdown passes in the first half. I am sure on that. Now onto the 7 o'clock window. It is Kansas State taking on Kansas. And this is pretty crazy. So Kansas State on the road sitting -7.5. Yes, Kansas State is a very good football team. They're very sound. They've been blowing bad teams out. They have good analytics, and I think they win this game by over 7.5. Kansas is dealing with something very strange with their starting quarterback, Daniels. He has had this back injury. I don't know if he's going to try redshirting or what, but right now Kansas's backups, they're dealing with injuries. They're onto their third-string quarterback. I think Kansas State wins this one. You could say it is a rivalry game. The home team's 7.5-point underdogs, and they're still solid, so there's good value on the home team. I can understand that. That's a legitimate argument. But I just think Kansas State, they destroyed Baylor. They scored 59 points. I will take them easily in that matchup. How about this one? The 7:30 ranked v. ranked game. It's Washington. It's Oregon State. Basically a pick 'em. Washington -1. Very high over-under in this game, I am sure. And believe it or not, I am holding strong, and I'm going with Washington here. Certainly, I could see it wouldn't even be an upset if Oregon State wins this game. Originally, I was going to pick Oregon State, but I just think this year there's something about Washington and Penix Jr. right now going for the Heisman. Very good offense. We understand Washington. They're not a complete football team. They do have significant holes, but Oregon State also has holes. So I will take Washington, even though it's on the road. It's a huge game. Yes, game day should be here, at Oregon State. But either way, I think it's going to be really good with Washington State winning. That's a 4:30 start time there in the Pacific. Another 7:30 game. This is the SEC game. Normally, the 7 o'clock SEC games have been good. This one's kind of a dud. It is Florida traveling to Missouri. Missouri sitting -11. Missouri had a very nice showing last week against Tennessee. They're not going to ruin that. I have them winning this game relatively easily, 31-17, against the Florida team, who does seem pretty demoralized at this point. We've got an 8 o'clock game. It is Texas traveling to take on Iowa State. So Texas sitting -8. I did have Texas losing last week, and they almost did. So I picked them to not cover, and I was right. And now they're -8, and I think they don't cover in this one, but they win a very close game. Iowa State has a very potent offense, and they're at home. I could actually see this game being an upset with Iowa State winning outright. It's going to be a very close game. These are tough games for Texas here at the end of the season, but I do have Texas holding strong, not covering the 8, but winning there. You do have Georgia State traveling to LSU. So, I mean, these are just, whether or not you think Jaden Daniels has a chance at the Heisman, certainly this is going to be a pad your stats game. LSU -31. Bo Nix is going to have a pad your stats game as well. A lot of these Heisman guys, Marvin Harrison Jr., it'll be interesting, but this game's just a lock to go over. Unless the over-under's in the 70s, LSU scores so many points, and they're going to give up some points to a Georgia State team that can score a little bit. I've got it at 52-17. It might even be like 62-17, honestly. And then this is possibly the late night game. This game is to be determined on the time, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be the 10:30 game. It is Utah traveling to Arizona, ranked v. ranked. Arizona gets the win at Colorado. Utah suffers a tough loss last week to Washington, and it is basically a pick-em. Arizona sitting as a half a point favorite. Utah with the slight edge in terms of the analytics, but I do like the offensive upside of Arizona. Seems like this is their year. They're really breaking out. Could you imagine them finishing? Well, I mean, if they face Arizona State next week, yeah, if they win this game, they could finish 9-3. It's not going to be good enough for a New Year's Six bowl because the Pac-12 has so much competition in terms of that, but they're going to get into a very nice bowl game. This is a great year for Arizona if they can finish it off. And honestly, this is a very winnable game against a Utah team who lacks offensive upside. I understand Utah's been better recently on offense, but still, I like Arizona at home to possibly win that one. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.